You are listening to Kickspot.
And we're back with the Kickspot.
That was great.
And we are here with DJ Rodchrolon, also known as Christopher Rodriguez.
Yep.
We appreciate you being on the show.
Thank you.
Hey, first of all, the second piece of our show with him teaching us how to DJ has been like the most fun.
Yeah.
That was super lit, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah,
super lit.
I'm sorry to all the DJs out there.
Me too. I had fun.
I disgraced everybody. I'm glad I don't call myself a DJ at all.
DJ Jinu Park.
Nah,
For everybody listening and watching, this is like super on the spot. We're putting ourselves on the spot, completely unprepared. Like, we're going to do it. Can you do it? And I'm like, sure, let's go. So I think that we did great.
So welcome to the show. That's part of what we do. We like to put people on the spot, ask them a lot of questions because it is genuine. It is from the heart as well too, with the questions that we are asking and your responses. So besides DJing, I wanted to cover what's going on right now. Obviously, we got a lot of T-shirts right over here. Tell us a little bit more about what the T-shirts mean.
Okay, so the T-shirts tie into current events, we're experiencing in society. I actually created the brand in 2016. I came up with the concept.
What's the brand called?
Eliminate race.
Okay.
Right. The idea is to eliminate like racial classifications. Like when you apply for a job and it asks you, what your race is and stuff, like you fill it out or whatever. I just started putting human because I at some point I fill out so many job applications that I was like, it don't matter what I am. But then I did research and they're like, oh, we want to know, we want that data for statistics, like X amount of Mexicans are working or X amount of Asians are working. And I'm like, but if we're all human, that statistic wouldn't matter, right? It doesn't matter if there's more rich white people or more rich Mexicans. We're all like human. So it doesn't matter if you're rich white, rich black, you're a rich human or a poor human. It's just kind of like retraining the brain to see each other as humans and not races.
Yeah.
That's like the root of eliminate race.
Yeah, and so with today's times, right?
Sure.
We've had a crazy 2020, and I think that's like a term.
That's not crazy, man.
That's like a term that I think we're always gonna move forward with jokingly. If everything turns into kaput, oh, that's just 2020, right?
Sure.
Because it's been insane. However, with your messages, obviously it's pretty clear what you're trying to convey. But how relative or how big of an impact you think your shirts are making and can make, right? Now more relevant now than it was when you had it
right.
at 2016.
So like right now, I've actually kind of like put the brand on like the back seat.
Okay.
Just like for just sheer honest protection and privacy of my family. With like the whole COVID thing and, the Black Lives Matter and stuff. When I created this in 2017, it was 17, it was when Trump had just been inaugurated. And there was like a lot of school shootings and it was like white people, school shootings, black people getting arrested. And it was just like white, black. And I was like, man, this. I wrote the design on a napkin and that's where I came up with the concept. Like if we didn't see each other like this, then we wouldn't be having all this issues. And I blame like the media a lot. When with current events and me putting the brand on the back burner, I started getting people like kind of like hating on the brand. They thought it was like a all lives matter thing.
Interesting.
On initial look, you're like, oh, is that like an all lives matter thing? And I created this years ago, right? So like, quick story. I was in San Francisco a couple weeks ago, and I was wearing the shirts.
Yeah.
And an African American lady, like she was like, oh, I don't like that. Like if you discredit me, and you discredit, I'm like, you know what? I didn't have a response for her.
Yeah.
She was just so like kind of like aggressive and set in stone. I was just kind of like, we can agree to disagree, and that's part of what the brand is. I have like a little mission statement. You can see the mission statement on the website. But it's like, okay, look, we don't see eye to eye, but we can agree to disagree. Like, you don't have to get all salty with me and leave all bitter. Like, this is your point of view, this is my point of view. But I didn't even get into like trying to like justify the brand. I was like, look, she was feeling some type of way, and I'm like, you feel that type of way, and I'll accept that, and we part ways. You know what I mean? So I was like, I want to have a better, be better prepared for people who combat the brand. And it wasn't until after the fact that I remembered a response where the brand isn't to eliminate culture. Yeah. It's to eliminate race. And I think that's where people get confused. They're like, oh, no black, no white. Like, it's like, no, you're still black. But like, try to appreciate your culture, right? And what your culture's, I'm drawing a blank for the word, but your heritage and influences, your cultural influences and heritages. The brand appreciates and respects that of all cultures. Just eliminate the race part. I'm a proud Latino. I'm a proud African American person. I'm a proud Asian or whatever. Like, I don't even like using those words no more. I was like, I'm a proud human. And that's where I simplified it, because a lot of people were like, well, that's kind of dumb and kind of ignorant. And I'm like, you know what? It is. I'm dumbing it down. We're going to dumb it down to like, we're just human. And if we all treat each other right, then what's the problem?
No, 100%. So what did you want to say to her then? Like, what could you have said to her,
yeah,
at the time?
I didn't want to sound like desperate to justify, so I let her feel her type of way.
Yeah.
And I didn't try to change her mind. But I wanted to say, like, no, ma'am, this isn't like discrediting black community or black people. That's where like it was an afterthought, and I didn't have my response prepared. Because she caught me off guard in the middle of like the Fisherman's Wharf. Yeah. And she was like, I don't like that. And I'm like, whoa, wait, hold. Like, and that response is, we respect culture, but eliminate race for sure. Yeah.
But she explained why.
She said, if you cross out black, then you cross out me and everything that we've been through.
But if you
like,
cross out brown,
right, then you cross out everything that they've been through.
Yeah.
See, but I wasn't trying to like.
Yeah, you were trying to have that conversation.
I wasn't gonna have that conversation at that time, because I plain and simple wasn't like prepared with my facts.
Maybe she didn't see the human at the bottom.
Yeah, I don't know. But like, even her man, like, Kramer grabbed her and was like, come on, like, just let it go. Like, because she started getting like more and more heated the more I was like, well, no, it's not like that. Like, every time I was like, no, it's not like that, she was like, no. Like, she got more mad. And so I was just like, all right, cool. You feel how you want to feel, and
it's
have a great day.
Yeah, it's definitely a sensitive topic, and
for sure,
it's definitely something that I think all of us could be a little bit more cautious, not just cautious, but understanding, empathetic, right? With culture. When I saw the shirt, right when you laid it out, I already knew what you meant by it.
Right.
You didn't mean like the shirt. I would rock the shirt 100% every day.
Sure.
It's because it sends a message to everyone saying, in my eyes, again, I hate now that I have to like put a disclaimer of what I'm gonna have to say. Right. In my opinion, in my eyes, like, I hate doing that, but I feel like I have to. The message to me, if I see that shirt, if I see you walking at Fisherman's Wharf, I'm like, oh, that's tight. Just because the message to me says it eliminates discrimination, because we all are bleeding red, just like your song, and we're all created as one, as human beings.
Sure.
And I wish people would judge someone based off their intent,
right?
And not just the outer layer.
Right.
Obviously, we're not educated. We haven't been through what other people have been through.
Sure.
But the intent is what people should look at.
Read between the lines.
Yeah. If my intent wasn't in a bad intent, then why do you have to come at me like that?
Sure.
I'm sure you have great intentions, but I'm not going to judge you based off of that too.
Right.
But in any relationship you get into, they're going to mess up. But was their intent bad? Did they do it on purpose?
Right.
If that's not the case, then you shouldn't,
Yeah. My intent with this is to just improve the world, improve society, improve how we treat
100%
and address each other. And just to quickly touch, in the 3 years that I've had the brand around, I've literally had, I think, 3 people who like questioned it Like I can almost remember like each conversation, where they question like the brand or like my motive or something like that. And it's like, that's where I put it on the back burner with the COVID thing and the protests and the Black Lives Matter. I was like, I want to keep my family safe. I don't want to go piss somebody off to where like they retaliate. Yeah. I was that fearful in protecting my family, to where like I attended a protest wearing my shirt, and I was like being I was confronting people that looked out of place at this protest, because you have like all the protests that happened a few months ago. You had like different groups, and I wanted to see it firsthand. And so there was like Black Lives Matter people, there was like Antifa people, there was people with their kids just trying to see what was going on. It was like a really legit mixed group of people. So I went firsthand to see that, and people that I felt that didn't look like they looked out of place. I mean, I know my neighborhood, I know my environment, and I know when people look out of place. So there was people that looked out of place, and I went up to him and I'm like, I was going at him like, who are you? Why are you here?
I saw your Facebook live or your Instagram live.
Right.
And that was the craziest.
Right. I don't know.
Thing. I mean,
I think my eyes rolled in the back of my head, and I just was like going on like autopilot, and
that's crazy.
And
you was calling people out.
Yeah, I was calling people out.
You don't belong here. I know my people. I was like, dang.
I was like, why are you standing here? You've been standing here for 2 hours. Are you the cops? Are you undercover? Like, what's your purpose? And these people didn't have legit answers.
Yeah.
And so that's where I was like, hold up. I'm gonna pump the brakes. I'm not like, obviously I want to sell 1 million shirts, right? But that's not my goal. My goal isn't like monetary value. My goal is delivering the message. And if putting my family in danger is something that's attached to the message, then I'm going to put it on pause for a minute.
Yeah. But it's difficult nowadays.
Yeah.
It's very difficult. I mean, like Adele recently, was, I don't know if you heard about what Adele went through.
With the Jamaican.
Yeah. She was like wearing some Jamaican type of thing. And then she had like the hair.
What do you guys think about that?
I didn't think anything of it.
So for me, I mean, I've always wanted to get dreads. That's why I have long hair. And I was actually in the process of getting cornrows or dreads. And I remember when I was back in Seattle, my Asian friend, who's very much an activist, he says, bro, like, you're disrespectful if you do that. And I'm like, why? And it's like, dude, do you even know what the meaning is? And I was like, no, but I respect, like, I just like the haircut.
Are you talking about dreads or braids?
Dreads.
Okay, right.
Yeah. And I'm like, I just like it. Like,
sure.
I like the look. I mean, Jeremy Lin was wearing it during the NBA, whatever. And then, people criticize him. He was telling him like, well, you have like a Chinese tattoo, and calling him out for it. And it was just like where do we draw the line? Right.
Yeah.
Cause I just like the style. So it's not like I'm looking like back at everything. So what Adele did, I didn't think anything of it. And I was listening to a lot of like news, and they were saying like it was like 50-50 split, right?
Sure.
But I mean, just nowadays everything is like so sensitive. Like,
I think it's bad taste and bad timing.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it, but what was it for, the VMAs or something?
No, it was a festival.
It was like a
festival.
Yeah, but everybody in that festival like does that.
Was there other people dressed that way as well?
Yeah.
See, I don't know fully. But like on initial glance, reading the caption on social media, I was like, "What the fuck is this? What is she doing?" You know what I mean? Like, why do that? Bad timing. I think it's bad timing.
I mean, I don't know, because like in like a
that's my thought.
If there's like an Asian festival and someone wears like a kimono or something like that from a different race, like I wouldn't think anything bad.
But with the whole Black Lives Matter and like appropriating Black culture, and like you get into that topic and stuff, and then that's where you're like, she messed up.
Yeah, well, I mean, kimono isn't derived as a good thing either, because you're basically like a sex slave.
Oh, yeah, Kim Kardashian's thing, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's terrible, bro.
I wasn't even going with that. I'm just saying in general, like, not a lot of people know that information.
Right.
But are you trying to respect the culture? Are you wearing a kimono because it was a festival and you're trying to respect it?
Sure. Pay homage?
Yeah, like I don't.
Or making fun of.
Yeah, like I don't think that's bad. Like I was talking about intent. Right. Is your intent wasn't bad. It was pure. It was like you saying, hey, I want to, go along with the culture, whatever it is, to respect it. And then people are going to hate because your intent was pure. Like, I don't understand that.
So I guess who am I to judge? And in quick reflection upon self, who am I to judge if I didn't know Adele's intent?
Yeah.
I'm just going off the surface. I'm guilty of not reading between the lines and just taking it for like the surface value.
Yeah. And I think I've always been the type of person to give somebody the benefit of the doubt until they screw me over. Mm-hmm. Like I have like, it is bad. Like when you screw me over, I have this grudge and I'm like,
yeah,
I'm not talking to you anymore.
Yeah.
It's black and white.
Bridge is burnt.
He knows. Yeah. Because I give you 100%. I'm giving you the honest truth. Like, hey, this is how I am, and I'm always gonna be there and have good intent. But
respect that in return.
Yeah, I respect that in return. If you're gonna screw me over, it's like, well, what was your pure intent towards me? And that came from a lot from the music industry, right? Like, people would promise me these things. I would do a lot of things for them, and then all of a sudden, it would not be like they would use me for a lot of things. Yeah. And that's where my trust was like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be at the point now where I'm not gonna play the gray area. I'll give somebody the benefit of the doubt, and once they screw me over, I already know that's gonna be a good habit or a bad habit that's gonna run,
right?
Forever. So I just think intent-wise is a big thing.
And we're getting this word, this big word lately, appropriations, right? Like it's such a term that's been thrown out, like so much lately. I don't know if you guys are in the fashion scene, but Louis Vuitton's like head designer Virgil Abloh, right? Like he just had he just said, so he just had a fashion show and another designer goes and ruins it, calling Virgil like fake and that he didn't start this and all that, like just really criticizes his designs, right? When he himself has appropriated the African American, like the African culture, painting his, models, and their faces and stuff with like African things and stuff like that. So it's like you're criticizing somebody about their body of work when like you can't even look yourself in the mirror when you're doing the exact same thing. Yeah. So it's since we're in such a place where one, you have to be careful what you're saying. Literally 2-3 years ago, I didn't have to make a disclaimer of saying, in my opinion, or like, oh, before I say this, I don't want you to be offended.
But think about how many people like unapologetically say whatever they want to say.
Yeah.
Like why do you feel that the need to filter yourself or like disclaim, like instead of just giving it to people just straight, like because everyone's sensitive and wants things sugar coated, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? That's crazy. I'm gonna go with the intent and the brand.
Yeah.
And again, my intent is to help like rechange how we see each other. Yeah. My intent isn't to become rich off this.
Yeah.
So like immediately when the COVID started and everyone started making masks, obviously people are like, oh dude, you should make a mask. And I'm like, you know what? Nah, I don't want to make a mask. I don't want to like, I have zero desire to profit off like this COVID thing or slapping a screen print in a mask. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was kind of corny to me.
Yeah.
So that's why like I put everything on hold. It's like, I'm not trying to sell right now. I think the last thing that we need to do is sell right now. I think we need to fix. You know what I mean? And everybody's so focused on sell, and how fast can I get my restaurant open? How fast can I put something in the parking lot so I could reopen my bar? You know what I mean? And I think that's where we're all like losing touch. It's just we're so money focused, right? And so that's where like I put everything on hold. But now that you guys have invited me back here, I'm kind of like re-inspired and ready to kind of like put myself back out there. Yeah. Also, things have died down.
Yeah.
And so I feel the waters are more like open than they were 2 months ago when I was like, nah, man, like I wasn't even wearing the 100%. Shirt. I wasn't even wearing the shirt because I didn't want to like get shot.
Yeah.
Like straight up. Like I was like, man, what if I even peeled the sticker off my car? I had a decal on my car. I peeled the sticker off the car because I didn't want like a white supremacist or somebody against or someone who didn't understand the brand retaliate against me.
Yeah, 100%.
Like driving on the freeway, they're like, what's that sticker? Screw that guy. Like it was pretty intense a few months ago. So that's where I was like, everything's on hold.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to like relaunch the brand and showcase what I have to offer and regain my confidence in promoting and delivering the message, because I did get a little discouraged when I had that discussion with the lady in San Francisco. But it wasn't until I got back home and I remembered my whole culture response. We're eliminating race, but I still respect your culture. Please try and understand that. That's what I wanted to tell her, but I just wasn't prepared at that time. So with the current events and everything and this whole Trump thing and the media, I think we do need this. And when I wear it, people still understand it. Yeah. My fear of it being confused with the all lives matter thing has gone away. Yeah. Now I'm open to all conversations again. Yeah. Where I was shut off for a while, for sure.
Yeah, I want to go back into what you said. You said you weren't doing it for profit or anything like that, and people should learn to fix before.
Sure.
That I'm gonna go the opposite on that, just because these business owners that I've been able to build relationships with, they want to help. It's a whole intent thing, right? So in order for them to help, and their employees have to pay rent and all that.
Sure.
They have to make sure that they are open too. So I think from an independent contractor's perspective, it's just you, so maybe that's the case. But for entrepreneur that has 20, 30 employees, that people rely on that income, I would say just that I would want to just kind of go over that a little bit, just because I do have friends in that industry that their intent is very, very good. They're not even paying themselves, and they want to make sure that they're.
I'd like to meet those people. You know what I mean? We need more people like that.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Let me touch on that real quick, with intent.
Yeah.
And money and sales, right? So I'm trying to be sober right now and not drink alcohol, right? I've been kind of fighting that for 10 years, but I've been mostly sober. But I do and have gotten drunk. But right now, I think that the focus shouldn't be alcohol. I have an issue with professional sports and how they correlate alcohol with it. It comes in hand now. So everyone believes the Lakers are on, you got to drink. The Dodgers are on, you got to drink. That really bothers me.
Yeah. I
feel that it's just everyone. It just reflects the simple mindedness of people, where they're just they think that that's what life is. We have so much things going on, and people literally only care about the Dodgers. It's frustrating, right? And to keep going on that, I don't really watch sports anymore, because I do the music. But the other day I was watching the Lakers with my father-in-law, and I saw the Snoop Corona ad.
Oh yeah.
And that annoyed me. It annoyed me so bad. I'm so let's talk about intent, right? Yeah. So what's Snoop's intent? Is his intent to get the bag, or is his intent to influence more alcoholism, or is his intent to improve the community? And I think by running the ad, it was bad timing. He's encouraging more people to drink, not people to better their lives. And does Snoop really need that bag?
I feel like he was going for the bag.
You know what I mean? Does he need the bag?
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like he needs the bag.
I think when you get to a certain point,
he needs that bag for his payroll.
I think you do, because
really?
You're used to a certain lifestyle.
So let's say Bezos. Does Bezos need more bags?
No, Bezos doesn't need it, but
I don't think Snoop does. We can agree to disagree.
Yeah.
But they're gonna be his taxes on his place. If he's not generating revenue, how is he paying that?
Royalties.
He's not making no royalties right now. What songs? I know how royalties work.
You don't think Snoop is paid, bro? I'd like to figure out how much he got paid for that Corona deal.
Not a lot of royalties.
and then continue this conversation.
Well, that's why you see a lot of celebrities. I see Shaq doing every weird commercial possible.
Yeah. But is it alcohol?
But
that's my thing. That's my thing. You choose what you choose. If someone gave me a $50,000 deal to promote an alcohol brand or be a DJ endorsement, I would turn it down.
Yeah, but the question wasn't that. The question was, is he getting a bag and does he need it? Mm-hmm. And I believe he does.
Okay.
I believe he does, because like I said, Shaq is doing all these weird sergeant general insurance, and I'm why would some guy like him who's on TNT?
I see hot patch.
Yeah. He's got all these weird commercials, but I think when you get to a certain point and you want to live a certain lifestyle, you're still gonna continue that grind.
Right.
But it is what it is.
So talking about money and sales, I think you were gonna ask me something about that. Are we ready for that?
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you during this time. Obviously, I mean, I think like when I met you, you're one of the. I mean, you grind.
Sure. Thank you for noticing.
Like you grind, and like you sign up for like everything. You're doing like marketing events, and you know, you're going out and DJing. You know, when I talk to you, like, hey, I got this event, that event that I got to do. I mean, that's like it's not a W-2. That's not a consistent thing, and you keep figuring out ways to obviously grind. So what was it like before and then during COVID, and then what is your goal in the future?
So before COVID, business was really well for me as like an independent DJ, self-employed, B, employed on a payroll, C, independent contractor, and then kind of like, you know, my little small business projects, like my little ideas. Before the COVID, you know, we were kind of going on all cylinders. I had my college contract, I had a city contract. For DJ? Yeah, for DJ.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah. I was I had a contract with a junior college where I was doing all their events. I was making several grand a year.
Yeah, that's tight.
Just with that school. And then with the city, I was making another several grand, you know, on top of like my like 1099 stuff. Well, like I lost both those contracts. So like I lost thousands of dollars over the last 6 months. At least like $10,000 over the last like 6 months. And that's just like DJ money. That's not even like working.
Yeah.
You know, that's not even events. Independent contractor marketing events where like I was working Cirque du Soleil up until the COVID quarantine, and they shut down Cirque du Soleil. And then with the COVID, not only did I lose my contracts, I lost like 4 wedding gigs, which amounted to like several more grand. And then on top of that, I had to refund my clients their deposits.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So like I was taking L's left and right when the COVID started. You know what I mean? But luckily I was in a position and I managed my money properly to where I could just give those people their money back. Because I couldn't like, I wasn't going to be a jerk and be like, nah, I'm keeping your deposit. Yeah. This is some, what do they call it? God event or something like that. Yeah. I'm like, nah, like here's your money back. And so I did all that. And so, when that happened, I began to focus like on self-care, you know, for people who are out there, you know, I lost all my jobs. I lost all my gigs. I lost all my incomes, and I did my best to go for the EDD, the unemployment, right? Luckily I qualified, but that's ended now. So now I'm back to square one again, right? What am I going to do now? So when it all started, my focus was self-care, and like mental health, and just trying to like navigate my sanity through all the current events, and just trying to like seek out truth. Luckily I have like an eBay account, and I have this like online record store that I do. So I was getting like trickle money in, you know what I mean? Just enough to like pay the bills, you know, but I'm not out buying like what I want type of thing, right? It's just like what you need, not what you want. And it's like a mindset shift. It's just wants versus needs, and how materialistic are you, and type of thing. And it's just like, I'm just want to simplify, just really simplify. So with the COVID, I lost a lot of money, but luckily I was able to like fall back on my eBay account and my records. I have about 5,000 records that I own, and I have about 1,000 listed of them online. And so like, it's funny, when everybody started getting EDD, right? Like a lot of people got unemployment, bro. My sales went through the roof. I promise you. Like I was like, awesome. Yo, these people are getting these EDD checks and they're buying records. Like, so I wasn't complaining. You know what I mean? It's cool, whatever. But that's how I'm able to like survive. Just straight up, you know. And luckily I have a very supportive woman in my life.
That's tight.
Who uplifts me and doesn't ask anything of me. And that's big. You know what I mean? It allows me the freedom to where I don't have to like chase money. I just earn money. And I think that's big, and then that provides a comfort zone that I need to get out of. Right? 100%. Like I recognize that, you know, like I'm in a comfort zone. Like I don't need to like chase money. I'm going to earn it. Right. But, you know, talking to you guys and being here, it's like, you got to kind of get back to like, find the balance in between chasing it. And I like how you really use the word intent. So I'm going to go home and like self-reflect and reevaluate my intent for money. Right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, do I want money to survive? Do I want money because I'm greedy? Do I want to sell 1 million shirts because I want to have 20 million? You know what I mean? No, I want to just get the message out and just make sure, you know, we're all fed and happy. I don't believe in like living beyond your means anymore. Yeah. And I think a lot of people do. Yeah. You're like, Snoop needs a bag? Yeah, it's because he's living beyond his means. You know what I mean? Type of thing. Like people really need to like I don't think anybody like self-reflects. Yeah.
Not a lot.
As often as they should.
Yeah.
And I like self-reflect daily. I probably self-reflected like 4 times in this conversation. Like, you know what I mean? And so I think that, you know, moving forward, if we're going to just keep this going, moving forward in like future plans is self-care, reestablish my clients and just reach out to everybody again.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
You know, part of the reason why I'm able to be so successful is just building good relationships and treating people right. Yeah. And being honest and upfront and communicative, you know what I mean? And so that's where like all my business comes from word of mouth and referrals. Like I don't spend a lot of money on advertising. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's word of mouth, proper clientele, and I'm able to run like a small business that earns between like 25 and 40,000, you know, if not a little more. And that's just like on the side.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So my thing is, if I can like put a message out there, is to just, number one, focus on self-care for sure and mental health, because it's crazy right now. A lot of people can just like hit the fan, you know what I mean, and just stop giving a care. And I've seen that. So it's self-care, and then just living within my means. Yeah. Obviously, there's a desire to be rich or like the American dream, but seeing what I'm seeing and seeing how there's rich people that aren't happy. You know what? I'm real happy where I'm at. Whether I had $1 million or I was negative in my account, I'm still happy. Yeah. I'm fortunate enough to learn that, you know, happiness comes from within, internally. I've learned to not seek happiness from outside sources. And I think that's the way people should go for it. You know what I mean? People are like looking at social media. They wake up probably trying to look at, without knowing, like they look at social media looking for something to make them happy, something to make them laugh, something to brighten their day, right? Don't rely on that. Your happiness comes from within. And a lot of times I'm guilty of like getting on social media and then being put into a negative light. Yeah, I open it up to something negative, and then I'm like, and then I have to like retrain my brain and like restart the morning in a way, you know? So I just want people to just focus on like self-care and treating each other right. You know, there's so much going on with politics and money, and when you die, it don't matter. Yeah. When you die, it don't matter. We're all going to be dust. Yeah. Like plain and simple. So that's where I'm at. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Well, we appreciate your advice. If people want to reach out to you, how can they reach out to you?
Yes. My telephone number is no. I was
like, oh snap, he about to drop it.
Said 911.
Well, no, I should get that text thing that Diddy and Questlove have, where you like get paid by people texting you or thing like that.
Yeah, that's smart.
Whatever. But the brand is eliminaterace.com. On social media, I'm not really active on social media, but it's Instagram eliminate_race. You could look up the hashtag. I mostly do like kind of like hashtag posting as opposed to like posting on the profile. Yeah. But if you look up the hashtag eliminate race, there's at least like 100, you know, pieces of content out there for people to look at. It's mostly shirts, and then people that have sold shirts too, or people that have shared their shirt. But yeah, eliminaterace.com, hashtag eliminate race, eliminate_race on the IG. That's for the brand right there. And then also a hashtag for the LGBT brand. This was like my second year. This is something that I came out with because when I initially hit it with the race angle, everyone loved it. And then I had some people who were like, oh, you should do one for like the LGBT community. I have family that's gay and friends that are gay. And so I got my head out of my butt and I created this one also. I launched this one in 2019.
That's that.
So you have a separate one for that?
No, it's the hashtag for this one is unity, compassion, freedom.
Compassion, freedom.
Yeah, unity, compassion, and freedom. Unity, we're all one. Compassion for each other, and the freedom to do what we want. You know what I mean? That's what it is. Unity, compassion, freedom, and those are the two for the brand right there. And then real quick, if I may touch on my productions.
Yes, music.
Music productions. It's rodchrolon.com.
Okay.
rodchrolon.com, and then all the socials is Rodchrolon. You'll be able to find me Spotify, Apple Music, Yahoo, good, I got that DistroKid deal, so it's like on all that stuff or whatever.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna post your social media on our Instagram as well too.
Thank you.
At _Kickspot. DJ Rodchrolon, Chris, I really appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for teaching us how to DJ, giving
it.
us your perspective on just life in general, and especially with everything going on today.
For sure.
And we wish you the best of luck in the future.
Yes,
sir. To you. Thank you guys.
All right.
All right. Keep rocking, y'all. Peace.
Thank you for listening to Kickspot.